Welcome to the show. My guest tonight, Monique Barrie.
Thank you for having me on the show.
Thanks for coming. So for people who don't know you, who are you?
Well, I'm Monique Barrie. I like to think I'm an eternal entrepreneur, philanthropist, and currently a filmmaker.
Yeah, so you do a lot.
Spinning 10 plates all the time.
How do you explain this to people when you first meet them? What do you lead with now?
People that know me from different industries usually respect that I leave an industry better than I found it. So I feel like they're usually pretty excited about any new endeavors that I take on. So folks from the business world are now supporting me in the film world, which is very exciting. And I think at the heart of everything I do is philanthropy.
Mm-hmm. How did this begin for you? What did you do before?
I think if we're looking way, way back, I've always been an entrepreneur. Started out with a paper route and ended up in dentistry and having my own dental hygiene practice. And I was in the field of dentistry and dental for 26 years, which I really enjoyed. And for a long time, I had a really strong patient base and client base. And I still run into many of these folks and I do quite miss them. But they always understood that I was an entrepreneur. Real estate development, retail shops. I've kind of done it all within that time, within that space, and even doing multiple projects at once. And then moving into Montessori education was very important for me because I feel like at the time my daughter was 2 years old, and I feel like children can change the world. So Montessori education was pivotal to add what's called emergent practices for early childhood education, how children learn best, what interests them, fusing those together. That really hadn't been done. People usually do one or the other, but fusing them together seemed like if we want to build better communities, providing children early childhood learning seemed like a very important place to start. So eventually when I left dental hygiene and retired and moved full-time into private education, which now I have 3 locations, and we serve almost 300 families, I see the results in the community. Montessori education is based on nature-based education with a lot of manners and etiquette because, how to be a friend, how to keep a friend, how to take care of yourself. I feel like when children have that, they can truly learn anything. When they're learning the art of friendship, when they're learning how to take care of themselves and how to advocate for themselves. And we've even thrown in a portion of the curriculum, which is philanthropy. So we work with the food bank and the children do all the donations, which is very exciting. Every Christmas, typically during the months of November and December, they collect items. And I'll often hear them saying, we need to do more for charity, Mom and Dad. It's very exciting to see that because I think every child should have the opportunity to understand and learn what philanthropy is at their age. And then as they grow up, I think that just makes them good humans. We get to create the communities that we want to see. So through Montessori education, leaving dental hygiene, it's always been a capacity of service, what I do. I love to serve the communities that I live in. And I'm primarily Southwest, Northwest. But Calgary as a whole, I feel like I've created an impact with the Montessori schools that I have. And moving into film, I think that was a natural progression for me because my daughter was about 8 years old and she was asked to audition for a feature film that was actually had a theatrical release. And watching her audition, it was just so exciting. Seeing that how she wanted to be involved in films. And then she started writing some shorts on her own when she was young. And really they started out as stories. I didn't know if she'd want to write a book or a short film. And I didn't know how to help her along in the industry. And I've met some really wonderful people along the way. And now my daughter's an actor and a writer. And she loves to dabble in production as well. So I think that the impetus for me to work in film probably was most inspired by my daughter And then I've worked with some really amazing local filmmakers and mentors that have kept me in the industry. I feel like I've followed my child, basically. And I'm very excited for what she has planned, but she's very independent in what she does. And I'm working in a different space in film too, which is very exciting, but we can do it alongside each other.
Do you remember a film or book or conversation you had where you thought, I want to do this, I want to move people like this?
If we're looking at, oftentimes I will refer in my lifetime is to saying, look to a book, because I didn't always have a lot of positive role models in my life growing up. I grew up a bit underprivileged. So I would always look to a book to help me be a better person or to learn more about things. And there are several books that really inspired me. And I really love The Picture of Dorian Gray. That was one of my favorite books. If I could make a feature film, I would love to make that one. It would be amazing. Of course, The Great Gatsby. I just love reading that book. It just feels like velvet when you're reading it. You just have to turn the corner to the next page and it feels like I love the story's richness. And as far as film, I think The Hunter and the Apprentice it's a short film. It's 8 minutes long. That is our current film at the Calgary International Film Festival. And creating that film on a small budget in my backyard with people that I love, a very small cast, and the first snowfall of last year has just left like an indelible mark on me. It makes me want to make more short films and move into different areas of film because I feel like it will create an impact. It's quite moving.
You've been described as a filmmaker, businesswoman, community builder. Oh. Underneath those titles, what fuels it all?
At the end of the day, I think helping others. I live a life of service through philanthropy. Even when I didn't have money, I was able to always give back by my two hands, by volunteering. And at this point in my life, I've reached a level of success where I can help others and help our communities be the best that they can be. So that's pivotal for me. That's who I am as a person. I don't think without philanthropy, I don't know who I'd be.
So when you take on a new project, what question are you asking yourself at the beginning?
What kind of impact am I hoping to create? And that's whether I'm participating or sponsoring an event, which is typically a philanthropic event, or taking on a new film. What am I hoping to achieve? Is this fun and these are great people to work with? Or am I creating some sort of social impact, like our documentary with Paul Brandt? That Not in My City, that for me, that's life-changing work.
Well, we're going to talk a lot about that.
Sure.
But first, the films you make, what kind are they? Have they been different?
Certainly.
Yeah.
They've been very different. And I just want to remind everyone, I've really only been in the industry for a year and 9 months, but it's been exciting. So I've just continually made so many projects. I've worked with lots of different groups, and what comes through is, the first one was a thriller, and then we're moving into a lovely Indigenous short. And then we have a teenage vampire film, Immortal Embrace, and Renegade Fever is just a wild, fun ride. It's a television pilot based on two detectives from 1972.
We've made the call. The Renegade unit is back on.
Rickshaw and Barker.
Can we count on you?
Yeah, Chief, we are. Looks like crime is about to catch a fever.
So it's really interesting. I've tried a little bit of everything with shorts, television pilot, and now I'm moving into documentaries. And in this fall, I'm hoping to lock down 2 feature films. So it's exciting. I'm trying a bit of everything. I would really love to make some music videos. I love music and work with a lot of local artists, and we support each other in our charities. So obviously working with Fleischer or Megan Dawson or Devin Cooper and Mariah Stokes and Paul Brandt would be an amazing opportunity. But making music videos and commercials, I want to try it all to see what lands. But so far, I've really enjoyed documentaries. Being able to tell someone else's story, you have to digest everything they're saying. You want to do them well. You want to represent them as they're speaking. So you're collecting these really important moments for them, and being able to convey that on a screen for the masses. It's a very personal experience, and you have to invest a lot of yourself in it. And I think that's why I like it so much. And I guess the proof will be in the pudding when we release the first documentary, because we have 2 slated for this year.
Is there anything that surprised you about either Calgary's film industry or the film industry in general that someone who's not in the industry might not realize?
It's incredibly supportive, and there are so many people making films at so many different levels. I had no idea when I first started. I really did not. I just assumed that there were big and small, but there's really small, mid to large productions, and it's very exciting. There's a lot of support in the community as well. There's so many different groups, CSIF, Calgary Independent Film Society, then AMPIA, the Alberta Media Production Industry Association. There's so many places you can go if you're even thinking about making film. So I always encourage people to just get out there and do it. Meet people who are doing it. And it's exciting right now to be in Alberta. I've been to film festivals all over the world, and I can tell you that we're so well respected, and they want what we have. They love the landscape. People want to film here, and I find that very, very exciting.
Is there a project that you have in mind that you want to make but feels outside of your comfort zone?
Funny you should ask that. Yes, I do. I have always been terrified by horror films. Alberta has a mecca for horror films, and I'm considering a feature horror film, which really would be out of my wheelhouse, but I want to challenge myself to understand different genres of film. And that's why trying everything really matters to me. I don't need to be successful at every single thing I do. It's an artistic learning experience as a filmmaker and as a human being. I'm definitely going to try the horror film scene out next.
I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you.
We met at the Not in My City event.
That's right. Yes, that's right.
Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Oh gosh, I guess I went to my first Not in My City event in probably 5 years ago at the Dean House, and I understood the topic of human trafficking, but just as the name implies not in my city, I just assumed that didn't happen in our city, which was very naive. But most people I know, until they know,
yeah,
they don't know.
I learned so much at that event. I had no idea.
The guest speaker that was there, the survivor that night, she was speaking at Dean House, and it really blew me away. I had a young child at home, and I was sitting there with a few friends, and I was weeping, visibly weeping, when she was telling her story about being trafficked for 12 years. And I could see, Paul and his wife, Paul Brandt, they're everyone's visibly crying. And it was head knowledge when she was explaining how she had been trafficked for 12 years all over the world, but being from Alberta. And then when it sinks into your heart, I think I cried for 3 days off and on, because I had a young daughter at home, and the topic, well, it scared me, and it was a bit like Paul always says, it's like holding on to a bomb or a grenade, and then you got to let it go. And I thought, how can I help? How can I make an impact? So I vowed to myself from that moment that I would bring 25 to 50 people, net new, to every event that they had, so that I could help people understand more about human trafficking. And that's where the idea was born. And working with the group at Not in My City, every single person that works with Not in My City is so dedicated to advocacy against human trafficking. I'm very proud of the work they do. So I consider myself an ally, regardless of having made a film or documentary for them. I've been an ally for the last 5 years. The work that they're doing is meaningful, even if we only ever help one person. I'm very, very proud to be an ally.
Yeah. And you made a documentary.
Yes.
Can you tell me a little bit about that too?
Well, the idea was born out of Paul Brandt and a group of folks were invited to the Glenbow Museum to go through the extensive renovations, which I'm very excited for. It's going to be a world-class facility. I'm so excited to make art accessible to everyone. But Paul and I were walking through, and I said, Paul, I've seen so many events where, I see how hard this topic is for you and for your wife when you're chatting about it with groups of people to let them know. So wouldn't it be great if you had a short film or a documentary to say all those hard parts, and then you could just play music? And we both just kind of looked at each other and thought, I think that's a great idea. And we actually just did it. So working with the team at Not in My City to see what message they wanted to convey, what was important for them. So we're hoping to create a docuseries for Not in My City. And we've actually garnered so much attention from different groups, and folks would like us to actually turn it into a feature-length documentary. So we're very excited about that. But if anybody's ever worked with Paul Brandt, he is an amazing artist, but an even better human being. I'm so proud to be aligned with Not in My City. Our team working together, I had an amazing team help me pull that together. And I work with Raman Joshi. He's one of our writers. He's a really talented actor in Alberta.
I've seen him.
Yeah. I think you saw him in a film recently.
Yeah.
And he really helped me put it together. So I did write, produce, and direct. But Griffin Cork and the team from Numera, we had Morgan Ertmer and Joe Wright. Like, when someone understands your vision and they show up, and like, I wasn't even worried about camera angles. It was my first time directing, and I felt so supported by our group. We had some amazing folks like Dakona Rabbit and Lesia Bear, who've been in the industry for quite some time. And Derek, our sound guy. I was so proud of the team that we put together. They understood everything that I was trying to accomplish, and they were very supportive of the process with Paul. It was something that I had been working on for 6 months before we filmed.
Yeah.
It was that important that it was intentional and respectful to the survivors and to the topic. So I couldn't have done it without my team, honestly. And Anna Malik, she was our production assistant. She was the glue that day. She just really did help me out so much. And my first AD, Griffin Cork, was the absolute glue that I needed that day. He has so much experience in the industry. You can't do great things without great people. And a lot of people don't understand that. You cannot be an island. I like to think I'm a leader within leaders to create other leaders rather than a dictator or just a leader. That's how you create more leaders and better communities.
I was going to ask if there was a weight of responsibility making something that heavy.
Yeah, honestly, I do have someone who's very close to me that was impacted by human trafficking. And it's a hard topic to begin with. But when you're being asked to tell the story through a lens for other people to digest and understand, I just felt such a great responsibility to do it right. And I feel that we have. And I think it will capture. It's true, in my opinion, what I was going for was true social justice, so people can understand more about human trafficking. In Alberta, it's extremely important. The strides that Not in My City has made through their annual review, just reading that on their website, you'd be really shocked with all the changes that they've made. But what they're doing is something that can literally be done in every province across Canada. And having the responsibility to tell that, share that story with great impact and respect was my honor.
How did you learn through making the film a lot more also?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I feel like even at 52, I feel like every day is a learning experience. I always want to learn something new. And I don't want to just sit in, oh, well, I've been successful, or this is great, or I'm a leader. That's not the truth. The truth is that every single day, there's an opportunity to become a better person and to learn something new. And I love learning something new from younger people rather than just older mentors. So it's that collective experience. That's what I call community.
For anyone listening, how would they get involved with Not in My City? I'll link everything, but
Sure.
What's one way they could start?
Well, Not in My City, their website, notinmycity.ca, is fascinating. The first thing I would recommend doing when they go to notinmycity.ca is it says take the test. So if you want to know more about human trafficking or test what you think you know, I was shocked how many questions I got wrong when I first took the test. And I think we're at almost 30,000 Albertans or it could be collectively across Canada, have taken the test. So we're excited for people to do it. It'll tell you exactly where you stand on what you know about human trafficking. And there may be some surprises in there for you. And it's okay. Nobody needs to be an expert about human trafficking in order to create change. That's the exciting part. And they have so much information. They now have a blog as well. Come to our events. A big shout out to A Not So Silent Night, Mallory. We have Morgan and Lyle that run A Not So Silent Night. They have wonderful events, the rooftop event and the Christmas event. In support of Not in My City, they raise so much money and awareness for human trafficking. We have our upcoming Christmas event, and it's fantastic. We have so many local performers. Last year we had, I think we had Mariah and Devin, Ashley Ghostkeeper. There's just so many artists, Paul Brandt and his wife Liz, she's a lovely singer as well. Having everyone perform at this event, it's a really wonderful way to learn more about what they're doing. Seeing a live event is important, and they have events throughout the city and the province as well. But finding out more on their website, following their blog, they've got merch, which brings me to my next piece. I have a little gift for you.
Okay. I'm ready.
All right. Well, we have the official Not in My City socks.
I love them. I saw a couple of these and I wanted them.
And then our ally card with a bit of basic information, as well as this is a QR code that you can put on your car.
Okay, I saw these on the table at the hotel.
They're amazing. So funny. Friends come over. I'm like, do you have a pin? Do you have there's so many cars floating around town because I have given everyone stickers.
I love it. Thank you so much.
You may already have a pin from meeting at the event, but I'll be happy to pass an extra one along to you as well.
The one I have is a lot smaller. It's a little golden one.
This one goes really nice on lapels. So
okay.
Yeah, and it's a great way to support. I actually, when I'm just rolling around town in my jean jacket, I love to have it on. And then, of course, I have my bracelet. They were beautifully designed, and there's a few different generations of this bracelet. But any way you can support, I think finding out more about any cause is always where it starts. And that's why I love the Calgary Foundation so much. If you're not sure where you want to start with a charity, go to the Calgary Foundation's website, see who they support, and you can choose one that might resonate with you rather than, having to go from event to see what works. But philanthropy has to happen on all levels, whether it's volunteering for an event, advocating like this, just talking to one another, or actually participating and financially injecting some funds into a nonprofit. Like there are just so many ways.
I'm so happy I went, and I'm going to go to all of them.
Yes, I was so excited to see you across the room. I recognized you immediately. And it was a really fun event. There were so many amazing musical performers, but I think the survivor impact story was, I saw people visibly in tears. And while I've been with the organization or as an ally for 5 years, it still hits home. But when I look across and I see a first-time person in tears, I know that we've created some impact there, and we don't want to do it through trauma, but we do need to advocate so people can at least have an understanding of human trafficking and what's happening in this province.
I'm going to take a quick break.
Sounds great.
We'll be back. Hey everyone, if you're new to the show, please subscribe on YouTube. Lots of listeners on Spotify, Apple, iHeartRadio. Keep subscribing there. Share it with someone. If you think it's a cool concept, share it with your friends. We want to keep it going. So yeah, thanks so much. Stay tuned for more Deets. And we're back. I just come back from break like that out of nowhere. So tell me about the RBC Emerging Artist Award.
Oh, wow. It was very unexpected, first of all. Calgary Arts and Development. I was nominated by a few folks for my work with, in such a short period of time, having a social impact with the films that I was making and representing artists that were underrepresented, getting their stories out there. So I was very excited to support those films and be a part of that. At the age of 52, I was shocked to be considered an emerging artist. I always thought it was going to be, a fine painter or a ballerina or a musician. And to be recognized for that was an honor, honestly. And it just makes me want to help more folks in the film industry to tell great stories and to now tell some of my own.
What's something behind the scenes that people don't realize goes into getting an award like that?
Oh gosh, I just feel like this is a part of who I am. This is how I live my life. It's not perfectionism. It's more excellence to help others, to create great businesses that enhance communities. That is the person that I am. And if that reflects through in recognition, I feel like when I was recognized for business in Calgary in 2023, that was a really big honor as well, because I had been a female entrepreneur for so long. And sometimes you ask yourself, am I making an impact? And we're hardest on ourselves. But I was. And the school, our Aspen Hill Montessori, was really creating a huge impact in our community. And I had to stop and take a minute to be proud of myself, because quite often we're just hard on ourselves. So I'm very proud of the work that I've done as an entrepreneur, and being recognized by business in Calgary. Has been around for 35 years. And it was a real honor.
Yeah. So you have a lot of awards, and a lot recently. Oh. But what does success beyond the awards feel like to you?
Well, I feel like happiness is the biggest reward. And I feel good by helping others and now telling some of the stories that I want to tell. And I love working within different industries. I hope to always take an industry and leave it better than how I found it. And that's the entrepreneurial side of me, I guess. But my daughter, creating a good role model for my daughter, maybe the role model that I didn't have in my life, being a good role model for my daughter, Marissa, is probably the most important thing in my life.
Who in Calgary's community, you touched on this a little bit before, but has been instrumental into your journey so far?
So many amazing people. I've been really fortunate to work with so many different people throughout my various careers here. But recently I was afforded the opportunity with a bespoke mentorship through the Alberta Media Production Industry Association. And it gives a new producer, an opportunity to work with a very well-established producer or director. And I was given the opportunity to work with Michael Peterson. Michael Peterson has been amazing. He's really helped me. I thought it would be a lot of, this is what I've done, how can you learn from it? But it was really questioning myself. What do you want to achieve in the film industry? What do you hope your stories will tell? He really created a lot of moments where I was questioning myself, and he'd give me great homework. Read a few scripts, watch this film. We'll talk about it. I can't negate that experience. And I was also afforded the opportunity to go to the Fantasia Film Festival. It's one of the largest genre film festivals in North America and the world. It is amazing if you ever get the opportunity to go to Montreal. But I was able to attend their market, which is basically where films go to live, because you can have your film project picked up by various streamers or like production companies, or you can do co-productions. It was fascinating. I learned so much more about the film industry, especially feature films. And you get to connect with a bunch of great people that you see at other festivals. And there's so many people from around the world. That was a life-changing experience for me. And I hope to go to more. And in Denver, Series Fest, our television pilot, our team was able to attend that one. And I was so excited to be able to go to Series Fest, because that's where pilots go to live. That's where they go to, be streamed or be on television. So it was a real honor to be able to do that with my team. Again, Griffin Cork, Morgan Ertmer, and Ramon Joshi, they're pivotal in so many of the projects that we do. And I'm very proud of the work that we put out there.
If you could wave a wand and remove all barriers for Calgary artists, what would it be? What would you remove?
That's a really wonderful question, because almost immediately what comes to my mind is funding. It's the barrier for everyone, really. When I hear, I'm waiting to see if I got the grant, that makes me so sad. And I really hope that people get the opportunity to tell there's some really amazing writers in Alberta, film producers and directors, seeing their work come to life through local film festivals like Calgary International Film Festival and Calgary Underground Film Festival is so very exciting. But they would almost all tell you that funding, to some degree, we have amazing tax credits in Alberta, but you have to qualify for them, and you have to make a film that's worth X number of dollars to be able to qualify. So if you're a new, emerging, independent filmmaker, just get out there and make it. Use your iPhone. Do what you need to do to be able to get recognized. Align with folks that are in the industry that can teach you things, because you have to start somewhere. And that's where another mentor pops up is James Rexheidler. He's a local musician, and he's with the Calgary Independent Film Society. He's just such a fantastic person. When I first started out, I can call him or text him almost any time and just ask him a question. And you get such an honest, like real life answer, because he's made the films, he understands. And having people like this available, like Calgary Independent Film Society for independent artists who are just starting, it's a great place to go. That's where they really should start out. And I'm grateful for all the folks that give me great advice in this industry. And that's what this community is all about.
You spend so much time telling other people's stories.
Yeah.
What's part of your story that you think hasn't been told yet?
Oh gosh, that's an interesting question. A lot of folks have asked me if I've written a book. And I think maybe writing my story down on paper and seeing how it resonates. It might be just cathartic to just do it. But I am considering writing a book. And that would reveal a lot more about me. I tend to put others first. And I kind of keep myself for myself, which is great. And I always hope everything shows through my work, the work that I do. But I guess that leaves me a little bit of a mystery to some folks. And that's okay.
What's part of your story that you haven't even written yet? That's something you want to do?
Well, I definitely want to make feature films. So, and like I said, some music videos. So that's where I think I would love to go next. And being able to do more philanthropic work at a deeper level would be, especially with Not in My City, would be an exciting thing that I'm looking forward to, because I have been working for so long and I do run several companies. It would be nice to have more time to be able to do those things with even more intention. I would love to be a full-time philanthropist.
When you need inspiration, where do you go? Do you go to books, places, people, or something else?
Yeah, I think my look to a book is very, very important. One of my favorite books, written by a local dragon, is Redefining Success by Brett Wilson. And in chapter 8, he talks about entrepreneurship, philanthropy, or marketing and philanthropy. So entrepreneurship, marketing, and philanthropy. At any stage in your life, if given the opportunity to learn these things, even from a young age, doesn't matter the age. Everyone should be given the opportunity to learn these things. And when I read that years ago, when I first moved to Calgary, it left such an impact on me because all of those things just went together for me. I just didn't know how. And so it gave me some kind of like a guide on how to do it well. And I'm very grateful that Brett wrote that book because I think it's a wonderful book. I highly recommend it to anyone.
What's it called again?
Redefining Success by Brett Wilson. And another really exciting book that's on my night table right now is The Audacity of Relevance by Alex Sarian. Fantastic book, about halfway through. Highly recommend. Won't give anything away. But if you're a member of the arts community in any capacity, you'll really care about this book.
I'll check it out.
Sure.
Okay, so let's say someone hands you a blank check right now, says, make whatever film you want, no limits. What comes to mind?
Anything regarding social justice, really. I may have found my niche. I feel like any type of documentary that will help shed a light on a cause will probably be where I want to land at this point in time. I'm also very interested in working with folks that are musicians, understanding more about what led, especially like, let's just throw it like if it was Paul Brandt or like Glass Tiger. It's fascinating to me how they came up from the very beginning stages. Their stories are so different than stories from now, looking back at that time in like the 80s and what brought them to like where they are now. So I think you can create a lot of awareness for like young artists that are out there by telling older stories or referring back to like pockets of Canadian music success to show younger artists what it was like back then. So that's very appealing to me. I would love to do that just for fun because you have to have some fun on film sets too. It can't just all be serious. And I love having fun. So music is definitely where I would do that.
What part of yourself shows up in your work that doesn't show up in your day-to-day life?
Oh, I think what you see is what you get. I am really this person all the time. My daughter's like, Mom, you're always at a 10. You're always like notched up. It's very, I think who I am at home and in my chicken coop. And I know a bit of a walking contradiction. Most people think, oh, she's fancy. But the truth is I was hugging a chicken before I came here. So at heart, I'm a farmer. And I love living on a farm and that day to day. So maybe that's something people don't see about me is farming. I know a lot about chickens and goats and gophers. I currently have a major gopher problem on my farm. That's a true Alberta story, gophers. But yeah, I guess that element most people wouldn't guess about me because I'm such an entrepreneur. They maybe don't know that I live
I was surprised.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. I live a simple farm life.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Your earrings are so nice. I didn't expect you to be feeding chicken.
Well, and I was out there just like this. I often go out with the little food pail and just check on everybody, make sure I don't have any dust on me when I'm done. But that's the exciting part. They all have names. At one point I had like 200 chickens, but now I think we're down to like 18.
Do you have a favorite chicken?
Well, I do.
They're not listening, or unless, do they watch
well,
too?
She might be listening. Her name's Adrian. And we had Adrian and Rocky, who was a rooster, and unfortunately he's passed recently. Chickens come to die at my place. They live forever. It's just they lay eggs, they hang out. I provide a retirement home for them. I've had my longest living chicken was 8 years. So Adrian is really wonderful. She's sweet. She's like a Cornish hen. She's very tiny and she's speckled, so black and white. And she's just super sweet. I love her. And we actually hatched that whole group we have equipment for hatching. So we hatched her from an egg, and you can purchase them chicks ready to go, but we actually hatched her. So I think that group is probably my most meaningful group of chickens.
Shout out Adrian the chicken.
Adrian the chicken. Well, funny story. Anna, who's one of our production assistants, and she's my assistant, she actually did her graduation photos from U of C with Adrian the chicken.
That's awesome.
So yeah.
What's one unglamorous part of filmmaking that you secretly love?
I think I really love locations, like going out to scout locations, and that's not always easy. The terrain can be tough, and you want to film in the right place. And sometimes like it's an old building that probably needs some pretty serious renovation. So I love being in that space of finding the right place for the right project. And like I said, it's not always glamorous, but it's probably the thing I like most about production.
Okay, so for anyone who wants to break into the film industry or creative industry, what's your biggest piece of advice for them?
Just do it. Don't just think about it. Don't just write about it in your journal. Do it. Whatever capacity you can do it in. And it's okay if you just want to record something on your iPhone and do it yourself. There's always got to be a place to, not everybody's going to start, just write something and just, have immediate success. I think just starting, but even if it's writing, if you're a writer, the challenge is a lot of writers get writer's block because they're also working day jobs, right? So just write. Just take the opportunity to write. Like the Banff Centre for the Arts has amazing writing programs that probably a lot of people don't know about. You can be a part of their programming. They give you a lovely little cottage to stay in Banff. You're there for 2 weeks, and you have this wonderful access to nature where you can just sit and write. And they provide food and accommodations, and mentors are available on site. And they do this for various things. They do this for writers. They do this for artists and different types of media as well. So it's something worth looking into, because if you had 2 weeks to sit and write something amazing, and you were completely taken care of, it would be worth the time off work to be able to do something like that. So I think finding out about how the industry runs, and also at the end of the day, knowing how it runs, but figuring out what works for you within that industry. That's always been the key to my success as an entrepreneur. I never just do anything as it should be. I see how it's done, and then I decide what I think the elements are that can improve it and change it. And typically that's for the betterment of all community. So that's an important piece. Just do it.
Yeah. You know what's funny? I ask that question to a lot of people, a lot of different industries, and that's usually the best advice that they give.
Yeah, I think it's honest advice, because if you're just sitting there thinking about it in your bedroom and you're writing about it in that limited time that you have in your journal, and you're hatching your plans, that's okay, but you can't stay there forever, or you will stay there forever.
Yeah. Imagine if I didn't build a late night set.
I know, which I love, by the way.
Thank you.
I can't say enough. I've been just really impressed by your show.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
What are you here to promote?
I'm here to promote Calgary International Film Festival has offered us an amazing space. September 22nd, we are part of the Alberta Spirit package for shorts. It sells out every year. Last year it was insane. It was so busy. It's at Chinook Mall. Tickets are available online, the Calgary International Film Festival website. And yeah, it's at 7 p.m. on September 22nd.
I'll be there.
Oh, great. I'm so excited. The Hunter and His Apprentice is our film. It stars Shane Ghostkeeper, a local amazing musician and actor, and now I think producer, director as well. And we also have Darian Holiday, who is a new emerging actor and writer in it as well. So we're very excited for this project. It is also, it's so exciting because we're at Calgary International Film Festival. And then September 27th, we go to Edmonton International Film Festival with the same film. So we have 3 films currently circulating: Renegade Fever, Mortal Embrace, and The Hunter and His Apprentice. which are currently across Canada. And we have a few that are in festivals in Italy, as well as New Zealand. So very exciting times for us in the film industry. If you want to know more about our projects, you can follow us on Instagram at LHI Productions. We have so many films that we're promoting, that past, present, and future documentaries. So it would be really great we're looking forward to, we're almost finished the Not in My City Paul Brandt documentary. And that will be hopefully coming out here in the fall. So very exciting. But I think the next thing that I'm looking forward to the most is aligning with Not in My City as an ally for their Christmas event at the Petroleum Club. It's on December 4th, and it typically sells out every single year. And it's my favorite event of the entire year. So I hope to see you there.
I'll be there.
Great. Festivals are getting bigger in the city. Art is really happening. When I moved to Alberta, it was a real cow town back in 1997, but I loved it. But I've lived through the evolution of that since 1997, and you're lifelong from the Calgary area, right? So for me, it's been a really exciting experience. I've lived in Toronto. I've lived in Northern Ontario. I spent a little time in Vancouver, but like Calgary's my home. It really is. And Calgary, I can't imagine not making films here. I've been afforded opportunities where I can go other places to make films, which would be exciting if it was a co-production from Alberta, but I'd really much rather make films in this province.
Good.
Yeah.
I like to hear it.
Yeah.
I like when people stay here.
Yeah.
It's really growing. That's what everyone's saying. They said all the people that I used to see leave are staying now. So,
my daughter's 17, and I would love to see more youth stay in Alberta rather than leave the province. It's really important to me as a parent. So, yeah, and I'm super excited to see how it all pans out.
let's wrap it up. That's the interview. Thanks for coming.
This was great. Thank you so much. I just have to say can I say I have a favorite episode?
Yeah,
I do. It's got to be the Mariah Stokes interview.
Oh, you know what? Funny you say that. This is in my studio from Mariah. Shout out Mariah.
Oh, I
Check
love
out
her.
Mood Ring out now.
Yeah. Mariah Stokes is amazing. That album release party I have been to others.
Yeah.
And it was just amazing. It was such a vibe, and the record's purple. And I play it all the time in my office. I love playing that record. It just gets me going in the morning when I get started for work. I think I finally get it. I know I'm just hum it all day long. So yeah, she's really talented. I love her music. But that was my favorite episode. It just felt really organic. It felt like you guys had a great flow when you were chatting.
Yeah, she's great. She's great.
Yeah, marvelous. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for coming. I just take these off and it ends.
Sounds good.